Hi, I'm Quinn Dombrowski, Academic Technology Specialist in the Division of Literatures, Cultures, and Languages and Stanford Libraries. And I'm part of the Stanford Libraries Web Archive Service team. And today we'd like to share with you some of the results from a pilot that we recently ran. So for a number of years, we've had Archivit available to bibliographers, and we've encouraged them to archive websites as they saw fit. We had a process where they would notify the site owner, and then they would do the archiving using Archivit, and they would provide some metadata in order to get it into our catalog, and then we'd make these archives available. And while this is a process that worked for some people for several projects, we ultimately didn't have a lot of adoption from the bibliographers of this tool. And we were experimenting with Browsertrix and Browsertrix Cloud as another interface for capturing websites and especially social media and things that are known to archive poorly with Archivit. So during winter quarter 2023, we ran a pilot. We worked with Browsertrix to have a Browsertrix Cloud installation available to anyone from Stanford who signed up. And we basically opened the doors. We said, go sign up for this. We did a few hands-on sessions to show people how to use Browsertrix Cloud, and we let everyone loose on it. And we said, go archive whatever you want to archive, and we will talk at the end of the pilot about what to do with these archives, how to move forward, whether you want to keep using this software, and just generally find out what you make of it. So we did this pilot. And in this presentation, we'll be sharing the perspectives of two people who participated in the pilot, Felicia Smith and Alex Keener. And at the end, I'll be back with you with some thoughts and where we expect to be going with it. So without further ado, some perspectives of people new to web archiving using Browsertrix Cloud.
Okay, so I'm going to review the Browsertrix. Whenever I bookmark, I click on my bookmark and I should be automatic logged in. It says page not found, which is confusing, but I just have to do that every time, but that's fine. And so I can show only mine, which is fine. So it was pretty easy to add these. Originally, there was a link here that said crawl config, and then that disappeared and that caused some confusion, but my coworkers said that the new workflow link would take me to the screen I was used to seeing under the crawl config link, which is to see the crawl and the URL list. So that was one bit of confusion for me. The next thing is the browser profiles was challenging because I'm not on any social media at all, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Spotify, none of those sites. So I was trying to experiment with archiving those. And there was a lot of challenges with that. When I tried to create, so I had to create a fake account. So I started with the Finsta, a fake Instagram account. And so that was okay. I got that page pretty easily. But then when I tried Facebook, it let me create the account. But then after a couple of days, I couldn't log in originally using this browser profile page to Facebook. It kept saying that I had the wrong credential. And so I kept getting the error whenever I was in the browser profile trying to log on to Facebook from this site. So again, I kept getting wrong credentials. And so one of my other coworkers said they kept getting the error. So they just had to type very, very slowly into this box when they were trying to log in to Facebook. So after a couple of hours typing very, very slowly, I was finally able to create the Facebook account. So that worked temporarily, but then after a week or two, I tried to come back and add another Facebook account to crawl. And I got a new error message that said, your account has been disabled. You can't use Facebook because your account or activity on it didn't follow our community standards. And then it said, we can't review this decision because too much time has passed since your account was disabled. So that was really frustrating. I then tried to create a TikTok account, which I created one online. I was not going to download the app. So I created the online TikTok account, so I was able to log in. But when I came to the browser profile page, again, I entered my login. That works fine on the web, but when I tried to enter it in here, it wouldn't let me. I tried to log in using my Instagram account or my Twitter account, but it wouldn't work. It worked on the Twitter account that I created. I was able to log into Twitter on here and Facebook sometimes interchangeably, but it never worked for TikTok. And so all of my crawls dealing with TikTok, they all just failed. So I never was able to log into TikTok on the browser profile page. I just got circles, circles, circles. And so, and you can see, yeah, anything with TikTok failed. I canceled that because they just weren't working after hours and hours. But they all just kept telling me that it failed. And so there was another page I was trying to archive. This YouTube page is a video about ethnic cleansing of Blacks in America. So I will go back up here and I have to search by URL because even though I gave all of my crawls a name in addition to a URL, for some reason when they're canceled, I only can see the URLs listed as the names, which is really confusing. But when I click on here on the config page, the name is now just the URL. So that was confusing because everything I created, like I said, I gave it a name and a URL. The other thing that was confusing, so like when I'm saying that I gave everything a name, so this police union's contract, if I come up here and search by in the search by name field and type in this very first one, I get no results. But if I just do the list, you can see it's right there. And if I go to the config page, it's even right there. So I'm going to copy that, go back to the crawls and try to search that. And again, I don't get anything. So that's weird. But if I have the URLs, I can either search here or do a Control F and the URL will come up. So I don't understand why that's happening. And I noticed that I don't know, recently, all of the ones that I created, the Fred Hampton House, Tyree Nichols, Blackfest, the 1619 project, all of these have the names that I've entered, but from a certain point, it's only URLs. There are no names. And I've been following the same procedure since I started with the very first crawl I ever did, which was this Equal Justice Initiative one. I've entered a name, but the name has been replaced with a URL. Again, that's really weird to me. But the last couple of ones, let's see, it's this one. So this one was complete. This one, let's see. This was an exhibit that I created myself. And I had to stop this. There were over 7,000 pages. No, there were over 47,000 pages crawled, but nothing was happening. I kept getting a can't find error. And I don't know if the problem was I was crawling the English of my Say Their Names exhibit, but I was hoping to see if it would then know how to get to the Spanish page, Diga Sus Nombres, which is the Spanish translation of that exact exhibit. And also we have it in German. So I wanted to see how these different links would be handled by Browsertrix. So again, on my Say Their Names exhibit, it crawled over 47,000 pages. There's one note that I have that it had crawled over 80,000 pages, but all it kept saying was can't find, can't find, can't find. So I just canceled that. And the other exhibit that I was interested to see how it would handle was Remembering Our Dead. It's the transgender Say Their Names exhibit. So I'll go back to crawls, and I stopped this one because it was doing the same thing. After 8,000 pages, it just it looked like it was all duplicates, and so I think it was in a loop, and I just couldn't see that it was really recording anything. So I stopped it after, again, 8,000 pages. After an hour of watching the crawl, it just wasn't doing what I expected it to do. So I stopped that one. And that was, I don't know if it got past the trigger warning, which is what the first thing I was worried about. Maybe that would confuse it, but it didn't. It just, for whatever reason, it just got stuck. So other than that, it was really easy, like I said, to just paste in the name and the URL and a couple of tags. And I think there were some, I didn't add the tags and I wasn't sure how to go back and insert the tags after I had completed the crawl. But that was pretty easy. Again, the problems with the browser profiles and the login was the main issue I had. So hopefully that helps. And thank you.
Hi, my name's Alex Keener. I'm the Digital Scholarship Coordinator at Stanford University Libraries and also based jointly in the Center for Spatial and Textual Analysis, also known as CESTA. And I was interested in trying Browsertrix because part of my job involves helping faculty and researchers and scholars to publish their projects online in a lot of cases and websites. And then on the flip side, some of my job involves kind of excavating old websites or abandoned websites. So I will share my screen here. And I was excited to try out Browsertrix on a website called the Spatial History Project. Oh no. I was testing out to see how the crawl did and to show what the page looks like. So this is actually a static version of the page that was remediated. The project or the website used a lot of archaic technology, including Flash, and had a lot of kind of broken things on it, but it is an important project and is something that we are interested in preserving as much as we could without completely rebuilding the site. And so going to my Browsertrix Cloud crawls, I found the tool really easy to use and even kind of pleasing to look at in its simplicity. It took a little trial and error to get the config all set up. The first time that I ran it, I included links one hop out and it was taking forever. And I really like the watch crawl feature to be able to see what it's looking at. And I noticed it was going to New York Times websites and getting paywalled and things like that. And so I eventually stopped the crawl when I realized I didn't need all those external links and was able to rerun it and just get the site itself and it seems like it worked quite well, able to navigate around, and it's preserving the page hierarchy and all that. These are the pages that I didn't think would work, so I'm not surprised. The stuff that likely has Flash, but I knew that is not something that Browsertrix would really be able to preserve and replay. So overall, I found it easy to use, even kind of fun. I think the number of configuration options felt just right, and the amount of explanation and tooltip kinds of things felt right too. I don't have a lot of patience for reading documentation, and sometimes I like to just dive in and see how something works, and this let me do that pretty well. I'll go back to some of the other crawls that I did. In my organization in SUSTA, we recently launched last year a new website, and I wanted to get a crawl, get a capture of that, and get a good snapshot of how it is now a year later, and then possibly be able to compare that. Right now it's crawling the events, and we don't keep everything, and there's interest in seeing historical information about the events and speakers that we've had, so this is one way to do that. So again, with that one, overall found it really simple to get started, and I like that there's not too much on the page. I also like when I restarted the spatial history project crawl, I was able to go back and edit the workflow and flip some of the switches so it wasn't crawling everything, and then rerun it easily without having to completely start from scratch. And I think my use cases, I probably won't be rerunning things a lot, especially because these are historic websites that I'm looking to preserve, and so they're not going to be updated and changed constantly. But it's really nice to have this option, or to have this tool to get the files and have those preserved and have multiple options for that. So yeah, I am a fan and look forward to using this in future digital preservation kinds of workflows for the digital projects that I support.
So here's the tricky thing. We're presenting on this in May 2023, and as I'm recording this, it's late March 2023. And so while we've had some initial discussions and planning meetings for how to follow up on the pilot, we don't actually have any answers yet about what we decided to do with it. There was enough response from enough different people that we are definitely looking into how we might continue being able to provide access to Browsertrix as another point and click alternative to Archivit for people to use. But where exactly that goes, whether we end up using the software as a service model or trying to run something on site, who ends up using it, what is the future of the archives that people have captured, given that they don't fit with our current policy? Will we be able to successfully advocate for changing the policy or making it more flexible in certain cases? How is metadata going to work, especially for people who have archived a large number of sites? Are they going to be able to keep up with adding the metadata in order to get things into our catalog, or are we going to have to think through a different process? Sorry to leave you with a bunch of cliffhangers, but I guess that's how these sorts of prepared long in advance presentations go. I hope you can join us for the virtual conversation where we'll hopefully be able to answer some of those questions, and we'd love to hear thoughts from you, any experiences you've had in terms of shifting policy to make it more flexible and processes to be more welcoming to newcomers. We'd love to have that conversation at the virtual IIPC in May, and we hope to see you there. Thank you so much.